Fellas, is there a lore reason for why hipfire is so bad? So I've seen actually a few discussions around hipfire, and I have to be honest, hipfire has never been a thing that has been on my mind or has ever been a thing I wanted to try out. Ultimately, with most of the weapons I use, hipfire kind of feels bad, essentially. So we're going to dive into hipfire in this video to see exactly the pros and cons to it. It could be one of those underappreciated, mechanics. It could be underappreciated way to engage in combat in this game. And ultimately, I'm kind of interested to see how hipfire can perform or which weapons are the best with hipfire. Now, I have to admit, considering this is a clip and we see a major down the scope here, I can't imagine this is going to be a good hipfire weapon. But again, I don't really know much about hipfire. So yeah, let's just see what happens here. Is there a lore reason for why hipfire is so bad? Okay, let's see. Oh, it's a Stalker bolt rifle, I believe. Yeah, that's a Stalker bolt rifle. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very inaccurate. No, okay, actually, this kind of catches me off guard, to be completely honest. You would think the Stalker bolt rifle would actually have pretty accurate hipfire, but as you can see, it, like, right there was a shot. The other shot went right there. Look at that spread. That spread is kind of insane. Even that, okay, that last one was bad aim, but then he had like one bad shot. But like even right there, he was probably missing like one or two shots there. One, two, yeah. He missed a few shots there. One, yeah, that, okay. One of those are bad aim. The other one missed because of bad spread. And it's kind of interesting. I guess a Stalker bolt rifle is just a really bad hipfire weapon. That's essentially what I'm learning about here. Is there a lore reason for it? Probably not. But ultimately, I think what I've seen from the Stalker bolt rifle is that it's not a good hipfire weapon. So yes, we are going to take a look at how the community reacts to this. There's another post that I think is going to provide more insight with hipfire. But yeah, ultimately, hipfire is pretty bad because you're using the Stalker bolt rifle. That's what I'm assuming. It actively goes against the lore. The HUD inside their helmet would give them a literal crosshair among various other information, so aiming down sights becomes pointless in most cases. If you want it to be more lore accurate, grab the bolt carbine and get the accuracy while hipfire perks. Hipfire becomes more accurate than aiming down sights. What? What? Is that true? Well, for the bolt carbine, I can see that being an incredible way to make that weapon. Holy cow, yeah, that sounds very effective. But yeah, interesting. Now, I definitely found another post talking about the qualities of a hip-firing bolt carbine. Apparently, this is definitely something that is pretty appealing. And ultimately, if hip-firing becomes some sort of meta strategy, it'll be kind of interesting. But, I mean, hey, the lore, apparently, it actively goes against the lore. The HUD inside their helmet would give them a literal crosshair among various other information, so aiming down sights become pointless in most cases. I mean, let me know in the comments if that's true, but like we do have a sniper. I feel like the sniper, regardless, is going to use a scope. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, we're here for hipfire. We're not here to see lore accuracy, ADS, or anything. But yeah, apparently the bolt carbine is more accurate with a hipfire setup. And I did find another bolt carbine post that I just, want to add here for context. When talking about the carbine being an awesome hipfire gun, what are you guys specifically talking about? Like, what versions and perks should I be using? My perks are currently all top line except for the 2 recoil reductions, and have been using the accuracy full auto. Dude, this is very interesting. I mean, honestly, I like the marksman bolt carbine also. This might be worth it trying out, a hipfire marksman bolt carbine. But I can imagine that would be kind of odd. The reason why I say that is because if hipfire can be more accurate with the bolt carbine, can that benefit the marksman? The marksman bolt carbine is my favorite variant of the bolt carbine. The SMG one kind of just looks like a block to me. I don't know. I'm silly sometimes. Maybe I'm just being too nitpicky with how my weapons look. But yeah, ultimately the bolt carbine is a very good weapon. So, keep in mind the bolt carbine has been buffed a few times recently. Well, in the past, and like multiple patches definitely buffed the bolt carbine. So I'm actually not surprised that there's a certain way to build the weapon to take full take full advantage of the buffs it received. And if hipfire is a more convenient way to use the weapon, that's definitely a pretty appealing way to, kind of make a bolt carbine and kind of make it unique. But yeah, ultimately, let's go to the comments here. Let's see how people feel about it. Full auto version with the hipfire accuracy perk. Hipfire accuracy perk, is that on the bolt carbine? Is there like a specific class you would want to use for this? Like, do you want the sniper? Do you want the Vanguard? Bolt carbine's on the tactical, right? So, I mean, hey, Communion Fire's still in the game, so boom, more accuracy. Full auto version with the hipfire accuracy perk. All right, yeah, definitely aim for that. However, there's definitely some interesting conversations about this, because apparently the original poster was using an auto bolt rifle. On tactical, I've been using auto bolt rifle. I found carbine doesn't even come close, not even a shadow of close as good as the auto bolt rifle. I'm just struggling to see what all the fuss is about. This so-called bullet hose SMG, I'm always out of ammo. Bullet hose. Okay, so they've been playing tactical, and they're using the auto bolt rifle for hipfire. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I will say the auto bolt rifle definitely is in an interesting spot. It has received a few amount of buffs, practically the same amount of buffs as the bolt carbine. But I think the bolt carbine is just an overall better weapon. But the auto bolt rifle definitely has moments where it shines. But this is interesting. This person's bringing up the auto bolt rifle about hipfire comparisons and how to build a hipfire weapon. Let's see the feedback we get with this. That's a bold statement, considering the auto bolt rifle is still one of the worst primary weapons in the game. Yeah, as far as primary, I mean, sheesh. I feel like it's very comparable to the bolt rifle without the grenade launcher, but I think the auto bolt rifle is just a little bit more accurate, something like that. I don't know, sheesh. I mean, it's hard for me to really push back on the auto bolt rifle being like one of the worst primaries in the game, but I still, the only way I can push back on this is saying the auto bolt rifle is still actually pretty good. So if the auto bolt rifle is the worst weapon in the game, and I think that it actually is like a decent weapon, that means, primary weapons are in a good spot right now. That's actually kind of cool to see. And then, not to mention, we're learning more about hipfire today, so there's might even be more options available. Anyway, let's continue the comment. Also, the carbine is good at what it does, which is barrel stuffing things. At extremely close ranges, it shreds, but outside those ranges, don't even bother. I mean, yeah, even the marksman bolt carbine definitely has a bit of a range fall off, but I feel like because it's accurate, you're able to get some headshots and whatnot. But that's unfortunate. Now, the original poster here does say, since the Trigun update, I found the ABR quite effective at mid-range and super effective at close range. All right. I mean, dude, like, look, I guess you just can't convince people the auto bolt rifle is an effective or good weapon in any case, because, yeah, this poor original poster is getting downvotes for mentioning the auto bolt rifle. Not many, he's getting like 2. It is what it is. But yeah, ultimately the auto bolt rifle, people really still don't like it. Apparently it's not a, it's not an appealing hipfire weapon. I would think the auto bolt rifle, to be completely honest, I would think the auto bolt rifle would be a good hipfire weapon. I kind of want to try this out. But yeah, again, hipfire honestly doesn't feel the most satisfying for me. Even though it's a silly reason, ultimately, if I'm not enjoying what I'm using, I have a hard time performing well. Dude, seriously, if you guys, weren't aware, I did used to invade an Elden Ring. I would get so many comments just talking about how not meta my build is. Regardless of how, what non-meta was about it. Like, normally I would have, like, lower flasks, or I wouldn't be using any items, or I wouldn't be using the right talismans. It would drive people crazy. And how I got through it was I was having fun. I really don't care if I'm using the right stuff if I'm having fun. Now, ultimately, in this game, I have fun playing everything, so lucky me there, essentially. But yeah. Maybe hipfire needs more appreciation. I'm running on Vanguard, referring to the bolt carbine, the hipfire bolt carbine, and it's the second most safe way to get through all missions on Absolute for me. The second most safe way. Before I go into the comments for Vanguard, I would assume the first most safe way, if the second is a hipfire bolt carbine, would be the Melta. Probably. That's what I'm guessing. Go for full auto, highest mag variant, and headshot damage perks, grapple into things, unload half a mag on a major's head, which takes like a second, and it's already on executionable. Very interesting. And yes, I can understand that now, because grapple into things to go aim down sight can be very, very janky. I think obviously grappling into an enemy and just, you know, holding down the trigger, probably the best way to play that. And honestly, sounds pretty smooth. Yeah, Vanguard's what the class that I play the least ultimately, but still very fun class. Trust me, whenever I play Vanguard, I have a lot of fun. It just doesn't pop up into my mind for whatever reason. Probably due to the primary weapons they have, but honestly, I've really enjoyed the Oculus and the Instigator. Both those weapons are good. But okay, let's continue. It's just a very aggressive, fun, and yet safe playstyle. All good until 3 mine launching or flying guys show up. Oh yeah, disc shamans. I can assume the disc shamans can be a little bit weird with hipfire bolt carbine, just purely because of range. But okay, gotta rely on melee and HBR pistol. I'd assume even better on tactical if you have the perk to scan on perfect parry. Oh wow, yeah. Battle focus into a hipfire unload. Yeah, mag dump. Battle focus into a hipfire mag dump. Yeah, I can see that being very strong. Okay. Hey, I learned something new today. The bolt carbine hipfire is worth using. The Stalker bolt rifle hipfire is not worth using at all. However, hey, we actually found something the Stalker bolt rifle isn't like super good at. That's actually a pretty big W. The Stalker bolt rifle is a very good weapon, but apparently it's not a very good hipfire weapon. Hey, you know what? The auto bolt rifle is probably a better hipfire weapon than the Stalker. So there's that. The auto bolt rifle got a win in this video. There's a new strategy that seems to be pretty interesting for Vanguards and Tacticals. Hipfire bolt carbine. Again, another reason why the bolt carbine is just a good weapon, but yeah, it's still a very close range weapon if you use it in this strategy. So yeah. Hey, you know what? This is probably good for chaos. It's just disc shamans that are probably going to be a pain to deal with. But yeah, ultimately you can just pull out that, you know, heavy bolt HBR pistol. You can pull out the heavy bolt pistol to get rid of disc shamans pretty easily, to be completely honest. But yeah, you still need to hit those headshots. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any good hip-fire weapons that we haven't mentioned here. Do you have any good hip-fire strategies, or is there any sort of, you know, hip-fire related tactics that you have that, you know, we didn't talk about? Or perks. Perks are probably a great way to start an effective hip-fire build. So regardless, this is new information to me, so definitely wanted to cover this. Hipfire probably going to be pretty good in siege mode too, and I can imagine hipfire is very good against gaunts. So yeah, ultimately, more ways to play is good. I'm glad the bolt carbine has some, you know, different options. The marksman, the hipfire, whatever taste you have, the bolt carbine apparently delivers. And yeah, the auto bolt rifle is apparently the worst weapon, the worst primary weapon in the game, but it's still pretty good, to be completely honest. Pretty sure that covers everything. Ultimately, don't hip fire with stalkers, hip fire with bolt carbines. Thanks for watching.